Is it on? Please stand for the national anthem. Good afternoon. Please be seated. I'm Tom Neenan, University Provost. I want to welcome you to the spring convocation of the 109th commencement of the university. We are extremely proud of our graduating class. This semester, we will award nearly 2,600 degrees from the 13 colleges and schools that comprise the university. This brings the number of degrees awarded since 1912 to over 175,000. At this time, I'd like to recognize our platform party of key administrators and deans. Please stand. Thank you for being with us today. You may be seated. It is also my distinct pleasure to introduce the 12th president of the University of Memphis, Dr. M. David Rudd.
Thank you, Tom. It's a heck of a promotion. Let me add my welcome to the spring convocation of the 109th University of Memphis Commencement. You're graduating after one of the most difficult years in our history, a year that has been marked by unparalleled uncertainty, the tragic loss of family, friends, neighbors, and colleagues, a year that has been marked by disagreement and division across many fronts, locally and nationally. The challenge of this year demanded that we change how we operate as an institution, how we deliver an education, how we live our personal lives, and ultimately, how you completed your degrees. Despite these challenges, you have persisted, you have been resilient in the face of remarkable adversity, you have adapted to a constantly changing landscape, you have been flexible and creative, and you have successfully completed your journey to graduation. Today, we are here to celebrate that success and reflect on the importance of your accomplishment, not just for you and your family, but for our community. As an institution of higher education, we are focused on a firm commitment to lifelong learning, growth, and development for our students, our institution, and the members of our community. We learn the most about our institutions, our values, and ourselves during periods of difficulty, challenge, and persistent adversity. Science tells us, despite what we might assume, it is in the most difficult of times that the overwhelming majority of people experience positive growth and change, the very definition of resilience. It is not that difficult times make us tougher people, but they provide perspective and often bring into sharp focus the very things we value, those we love, and what is genuinely important. It's important not to let moments like today pass too fast and again get distracted by the noise and demands of daily life without taking an opportunity to reflect about what your being here today says about you. Over the course of the past year, I've had the remarkable privilege of watching our community support one another, care for one another, challenge one another, and encourage one another. When we ask students to engage and give back to help fellow students, you did so in record numbers, and you did it in creative and caring ways. When we ask you to be patient and flexible, you were gracious. When we asked you to expand your perspective and consider the demands and difficulty of others in our community, you did so with kindness and compassion. Resilience is not just an individual characteristic, but is one that describes our broader community and the relationships that define it. I hope you will take time today to think about those relationships in your life, reach out to those who have helped you, encouraged, and cared about you. Let them know how important they are, the role that they played in your education and in your life. My encouragement for each one of you is to recognize that receiving your degree, particularly during this most difficult of years, says so much more about you than just your academic capability or your capacity. It speaks volumes about so many other positive and important qualities and characteristics that you possess, and ones that will help make our community a better place and this world a better place. And for that, I am enormously grateful. Now, each and every graduation, we recognize those that have gone the extra mile and aren't just receiving one degree, but receiving two. Two of your fellow students today will be receiving multiple degrees. And if I call your name, let me ask you to stand so we can recognize your accomplishment and celebrate it with you. Patsy Ann Murphy. Patsy, can you stand? Desiree Dyson. Desiree, can you stand? It is also my pleasure today to welcome and recognize the former chairman of our Board of Trustees, Dave North. He has joined us today for our graduation ceremonies, and we wanted to recognize his contributions, not just over the last 2 years as chair, but over the course of the last 4 years since the formation of our Board of Trustees. Dave has been critical in terms of driving the university forward on a number of fronts, but primarily to help us innovate, to get ahead of challenges in higher education, and to contain costs to help our students be successful. Dave has been critical in shaping that strategy and that vision and then helping us implement it. I will tell you personally, it's been one of the great joys of my professional life to be able to work with Dave over the course of the past 4 years, and particularly over the course of the past 2 years. Earlier today, we recognized Dave with a proclamation by the State Senate and the House in terms of his accomplishments and leadership on the Board of Trustees. So if you would join me in welcoming Dave North, a current member and former chair of our Board of Trustees.
Thank you, Dr. Rudd. My father was an alcoholic, but 37 years before he passed away, he had his last drink and was sober for 37 years. At his funeral, I discovered something I did not know, and that for each of those 37 years, every day he had a prayer in his pocket that I'd like to read to you. It's called the Serenity Prayer, and it goes, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Last year, this graduating class experienced many things. We have social injustice, economic disparity, a health pandemic, and a lack of trust for our fellow human beings. We've never needed you more. As you graduate from this institution with the education, I hope you find your way to convert that education into your wisdom, so you find your courage to change the things in this community, in this university, and in this world that will benefit all of us. And that you have the serenity of time, because it will take time to heal and correct those things that need correcting. There are many people that I'd like to thank for the past 2 years of service to this university, but none more important than Dr. Rudd. No one represents more the qualities of that prayer than David Rudd. He's blessed with wisdom, that in this last year, as we faced many challenges at our university, the one thing he did not have was serenity. He could not let something that needed to be changed go by. So he took that wisdom and used the courage to address the many things that will benefit this university for a very long time. And David, I'm so appreciative, and we will be forever in your debt. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, David. We will now recognize each of the graduates. I ask our guests to join us in acknowledging the accomplishments of our graduates. We draw your attention to the overhead screen that will allow you to have a close-up view of each candidate with President Rudd. President Rudd, the deans will present the candidates. As your college is introduced, please rise and remain standing for the conferral of the baccalaureate degree. Dr. Candy Hill Clark, Dean, College of Education.
Will the candidates from the College of Education please rise? President Rudd, on behalf of the faculty of the college, I recommend that the appropriate degree be conferred. You may be seated.
Dr. Richard Irwin, Executive Dean, College of Professional and Liberal Studies.
Will all the candidates from the College of Professional and Liberal Studies please rise? President Rudd, on behalf of the faculty of the college, I recommend that the appropriate degrees be conferred. You may be seated.
Dr. Ann Hogan, Dean, College of Communication and Fine Arts.
Will all the candidates from the College of Communication and Fine Arts please rise? President Rudd, on behalf of the faculty of the college, I recommend that the appropriate degrees be conferred. Please be seated.
Dr. Damon Fleming, Dean, Fogelman College Business and Economics.
Will all the candidates from the Fogelman College of Business and Economics please rise? President Rudd, on behalf of the faculty of the college, I recommend the appropriate degrees be conferred. Please be seated.
Will all of the candidates for the baccalaureate degree please rise? That's all of you. Will all of the candidates for the baccalaureate degree please rise? Ladies and gentlemen of the graduating class of the undergraduate colleges and schools of the University of Memphis, with approval of the undergraduate faculties of the university and upon certification of your dean that you have fulfilled all of the requirements for graduation, and with the authority vested in me by the University of Memphis Board of Trustees, I confer upon each of you the degree that you have earned and admit to you all rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining pertaining thereunto. You will receive the appropriate diploma. It is now customary that you move your tassel from right to left, signifying that you have earned your baccalaureate degree. Congratulations. You may be seated.
Undergraduates who have distinguished themselves in their academic work by graduating with honors are listed in the program and can be identified by their honor cords. As I identify each honors group, please stand. Gold, summa cum laude. Thank you. Red, magna cum laude. Thank you. White, cum laude. Thank you. Each college will now proceed to the stage.
Jesse Nema Willis, Student Marshal. Tatiana Aria Banks. Anna Grace Rogers. Rachel Ann Brannon. Claire Ann Isom. Caitlin Marie Tomasi. Lane Joseph Martin. Michaela Riteria Gillespie. Brianna Nicole Watson. Shelby Nicole Sandusky. Baraka D. Scott. Lauren Michelle Gieslow. Ashley Elizabeth Thompson. Sharia Rashana Pointer. Samantha Lauren Beard. Denisha Jashay Hayes. Chelsea Nicole Simmons. Aaliyah Alexandria Hunter. Emily Ann Drury. Spencer Catherine Hancock. Kira M. Mattis. Kathleen Nicole Kelly. Julia Elizabeth Dugan. Ann Clark Craven. Casey Morgan Baker. Patience Elizabeth Love Tidwell. Alexandra Watts Shute. Abby Elizabeth Hensley. Tyara Rose Copeland. Caitlin Rosemary Grace Gettings. Natasha Sims. Abigail Joanne Kirk. Hannah Catherine Morgan. Madison Alexandra King. Alexis Paige Gilmore. Ashley Marie Teuscher. Kelsey Nicole Gray. Carly Nicole Walker. Sarah Ann Fight. Cherno D. Ann. Kayla Nicole Graham. Dejan Briel Lowe. Taya Alexis Lee. Brooklyn Marie Taylor. Kayla Addison Cisco. Olivia Marie Browning. Lauren Nicole Hanks. Courtney Leah York. Morgan Lee Lester. Marilee Peyton Holland. Emily Sabra White. Madison Brooke Duff. Rachel Nicole Napoli. Savannah Ann Bates. Maggie Elizabeth Weaver. Kaylee Allison Anderson. Allison B. Hollingsworth. Sumaya Sadiq Altereb. Roberta Washington. Jordan Mackenzie Price. Emily Susan Chandler. Taylor Nicole Shive. Hannah E. Heyman. Tess Alexandra Kelly. Carly Alexis Baker. Sarah Josephine Stark. Lauren Elizabeth Hill. Rose Todd Johnson. Tynesha Rochelle Dye. Mary Carolyn Sadler. Hannah Lynn Riley. Hannah Elizabeth James. Alexandra Nicole Ross. Connie Paige Renfro. China Marie Lane. Ashley Kai Lewis. Carmen Jean Harris. Amber Nicole Dyer. Caitlin Sean Douglas. Megan Christine Scales. Mary Peyton Young. Tandra Michelle Young. Candy N. Garcia. Shakira Townsend. Lydia Estrella Olvera Morales. Trevor J. Mirsky, Student Marshal. Lauren Elise Kendall. Khadijah S. Small. Dylan Wayne Vaughn. Holland Elizabeth Payne. Vigdis Johnsdaughter. Abigail Jennings Bringle. Ahmad Khan. Justin E. James. Jennifer Nicole Peebles. Antoine J. Roberts Jr. Derica Herod. Oliver Benton Cushing. Rebecca Nicole Welch. Allie Mae Pjontek. Destiny Tierra Galt. Thomas J. Anderson. Jill Marie Sparrow. Jonathan E. Childress. Veronica M. Blakey. Amber M. Stewart. Elizabeth Ann Courtney. Caitlin Grace Miller. Richandra Chisholm Landfair. Clatonia Lynn Moss. Tamika R. Chine. Javaris M. Russell. Jasmine S. Brown. Parker Scott Birdwell. Jessica Wires Davis. Aichata Ba. Jemiah Ashlyn Nicole Smith. JC DeMarco Vancuso Burnett Gordon. Ardithia Bogard Simpson. Byron Avant Bradford. Olivia Reagan Jarvis. Bailey Suzanne Kale. Brina Deshay Burton. Frashonda R. Tate. Raven Joyce Collins. Destiny M. Coleman. Sequoia Nicole Walton. Terrence Perez Pulliam Jr. Maria Victoria Moore. Stephanie Maria Evans. Tandy Latrice White. Dovetta Marie Holman IV. Tyler Nicholas Hayes. Joshua Linton Thornton. Bradley Isaac Schaefer. Olivia E. May. Andrea Nicole Fogg. Alexis Nicole Hood. Amanda Joy Taylor. Jeremy Isaiah Liggins. Kayla Raquel Malone. Autumn Lawson. Anna Catherine Metaxas. Brianna Elise Cobb. Gavin Caleb Manis. Marquez D. Gray Sr. John Timothy Robinson III. Bryant McKinney Jr. Madison Renee Hawley. Christine Michelle Bouchard. Kaya Savoya Stokes, Nina Simone Bell, Ashley Elise Kaler, Stacy Linnell Grayson, Samir E. Tadesi, Kinsea Carol Huey, Demaria Shantae Wright, Samuel James Firth, Stuart Andrew Luttrell Jr., Grantavius Shaquell Brown, Nicole Ray Forsyth, Faith Charisse Donaldson, Margaret Carl Forbes, John Anthony Tucker, Kimberly Michelle Garrett, Modester Monique Teague, Lakeisha Shaprice Jackson, Lauren A. Denton, Isaiah Benjamin McGee, Brooke Luna, Student Marshal, Taylor Nicole Frost, Lydia Lee Wainwright, Nia Patrice Jones, Jawan M. Wilson, Jimmy H. Johnson III, Serafina Adrian Smith, John Matthew Dale, Nicholas Allen Tarr, Fanita Ann Jones, Rodney Lee Allen Owens, Harry Noble Edwards III, John Beth Barnett, Anthony G. Lancaster Sr., Brett William Murphy, Tamika Nicole Miller, Terry Nicole Dockery, Brendan R. Hampton Neighbors, Brittany Elaine Stone, Jada Janae Williams, Maya L. Smith, Sarah Elizabeth Jones, Jada N. Watson, Diamond Y. Jones, Dalton Mark Evan Green, Thong Duong Wok Win, Markavian Tequeri Quinn, John Ignacio Williams Jr., Jordan Elliott Hill, Angel Natasia Gibbs, Bailey Jordan Ross, Dorimar Cruz, Megan Elizabeth Castor, Jennifer Sherry Megan, Stephanie Gomez, Julia Rice Baker, Student Marshal, Savannah Paige Gieslin, Morgan Simone Jones, Aiden C. Marco, Jakayla Whitehead, Mackenzie Terrell Morse, Cameron Allen Henniger, Blake T. Carlisle, Victoria S. Killebrew, Lauren McKenna Purifoy, Clarice Geronimo de Jesus, Elliot M. Manaclang, Lockhart Alexander Kibbit Simpkins, Connor E. Bird, Jessica Lee Medders, Nuha Abdullah Abdelwab, Fabian Tirado, Tristan Robert Anthony, Jacob Kincaid Rice, Ashlyn Brooke Abbott, Sarah Catherine Nixon, Henrietta Marshall Robinson, Laura Elizabeth Rowland, Rayleigh Evelyn Herrera, Francisco A. Gascu, Lydia Frances Fisher, Leah May Aldridge, Joshua J. Rivera, Christian Alfonso Castellano, Brinley Michelle Gabrielson, Amber Renee Atkins, Kennedy Braden Haney, Catherine Lynn Hersky, Mariah Arlene Wallace, Jordan Aaliyah Dodson. Allison Gabriel Brandon. Kaylee Busher. Keandra Monet Savely. Emily Grace Ray. Melena Kathleen Murphy. Mackenzie Wright Schaff. Jasmine C. Steele. Kylan DeMonte Watkins. Ebony Sherelle Kane. Austin Davis Cloyd. Tristan R. Hicks. Haley Grayson Johnson. Mary Grace Slonaker. Aubrey Louise Deeren. Lauren Michelle Williams. Alicia Danielle Brown. Jeffrey Ogona Ugwani. Kenneth Earl Gillespie Jr. Carolyn Grace Cremarius. Lakeisha Lynn Morris. Angela Nicole Healy. Riley James Barnes. Caleb Scott Jones. Peyton Olivia Burdick. Hawa Farimang Chese. Savannah Madison Knuckles. Hayes Stovall Scott. Ryan Noah Stark. Deontay M. Payne. Catherine Elizabeth Mims. Jatavius D. Haynes. Ashley Austin Clinton. Brett Roland Lemmers. Christoba Luke Davis. Jerquintes A. Gibson. Tyler Scott Hall. Jennifer Whitney Veard. Lisa Michelle Lofton. Taylor Payne Hodges. Jada Maria Mayer. Brianna Nicole Woodard. Jason Brian Hevner. Lydia Quinn Caneen. Noah S. Summerland. Jacoby Michaela Washington. Ivana Gail Swan. Yvonne L. Benko. Dustin Kyle Hurley. Colby Michael Barham. Mary Ray Esty. Sierra Gabrielle Fisk. Mason K. Bledsoe. Jamila Trinice Turner. Lakeisha Simone Marcel. Ivy Marie Wetherill. Serena Ann Sly. Lindsay Michaela Murphy. Alexis Siani Williams. Lydia Denise Brooks. Emily Christine Krieger. Perry Alexander Riggins. Ray Alexander Shilowski. Megan Nicole Cox. Eunice Sujim Kim. Sarah Christine Owens. Natalie Ruth Bradbury. Chase E. White. Chance Thomas Clevenger. Charlie B. Merrill. Victory J. Hayes. McKenna Grace Emonson. Asia Johnson. Becca Janine Matthews. Kayleanne Malulani Malason. Genesis Ayoka Roberts. Lauren E. Navarro. Jinju Jasmine Yu. Darren Allen Seward. Stephen Anthony Tudor. Caleb Jamel Suggs. Gerald Allen Walker II. Erin Grace Young. Carson Jade Loffenberg. Brendan Cole Carisi. Justin Alexander Williams. Charles Edward Seaton III. Jalen Veasley. Drew Alexander Richter. Logan Scott Shaw. Elizabeth Marie Lafont. Olivia Catherine Berry. Kennedy Kirsten Dickens. Deja McNeil. Tavia Lachey Bryant. Corey Michael Hogel. Anthony Lorenzo Harge Jr., Jesus Duarte Navarro, Kateriana Nicole Faulkner, Michael J. Conley, Matthew O'Neill Finley, Tom P. Wynn, Nikki Nicole Jones, Compton McMurray, Kelsey Ann Taylor, Timothy Dale Marsh, Haley Shea Lester, Caleb T. Brown, John Wayne Cook, Marcus Anthony Browning, Eric Deshaun Hale Jr., Lauren Grace Stokey, Mariah K. Eckel, Claire Janai Jerdin, Shira May Tourette, Angie Fabiola Solis, Brooke Nicole Laster, Maya R. Johnson, Zoe Michelle Brown, Yomira J. Aress, LaQuisha Massey, Desiree D. Dyson, Benjamin Campbell Litano, Gabrielle A. Gillespie, Cassie Marie Abernathy, Casey A. Cato, Lauren Taylor Wright, Bobby Joe Smith Jr., Carolyn Elizabeth Buck, Autumn Brianna Keller, Benjamin Alexander McIlvain, Miguel Angel Munoz Cervantes, Carrie L. Wilson, Jordan Lindsay Poole, Jasmine McGill, Savannah Marie MacArthur, Mariah Mercedes Garcia Martinez, Alex Hong Lee, Jonathan D. Harville, Charisse Lachelle Dean, Derica Miller, Jacob Ren Bray, Connor A. Raspberry, Hakeem Rashawn McCrae, Dominique Hubbard, Tiffany Yvette Jones, Amelia Charisse Bullard, Michael Ray McNamee Jr., Corey Joseph Richards, Parker S. Morris, Logan Peterson, Kamidra LaShawn Brown, Tulin N. Kanawati, Ethan Q. Lapine, Marie Chalet Wells, Jasmine Ayana Neal, Chesley Victoria Bowman, Constance R. McShane, Josue M. Rivera, Joseph M. Hardaway, Raquel Alexis Matthews, Sarah M. Al-Jafari, Jarrell Cameron Gray, Justin Charles Barden, Joseph R. Marsh, Student Marshal, Stephanie Nanambe Howard, Student Marshal, Melinda Marie Rice, Student Marshal, Austin J. Watt, Caleb Christopher Jordan, Douglas Bryson Bramlett, Connor W. Banky, Griffin Mitchell Black, Jacob Allen Vogel, Samantha Josephine Simonetti, Taylor Carolyn Maldonado, Olivia Alice Bromer, Tamari Martinez, Mona Ekrol Yaidi, Austin Philip Marshall, Robert Kendall Allen, Alberto Perez, Garrett A. Blaney, Kirsty Rondazzo, Benjamin C. Paprocki, Rogers Evans Pruitt Jr., Chase Mason Kelly, Christopher Brian Alt, Connor Kyle Burke, Harsh Verma, Patsy Ann Murphy, Sydney Carver, Renshan Yu, Samantha Olendeska, Clark Wortham Bowers, Kyle Hedrick Butler, Ebony Dia Johnson, Michael Dexter Lowry, Austin Carlson Cohen, Connor Hill Cohen, Alexander J. Varnado, Isaac Andrew Russell, Charles McQueen Treadwell, Abigail Hall Hernandez, Valerie Nicole Breckenridge, Rachel Elise Woods, William Hunter Buckley, Joshua Babu Thomas, Matthew Dillon Scott, Brooks D. Trippett, Jordan T. Moses, Lisa Lynn Burton, Sydney Lauren Hildreth, Eugene Antonio Edwards, Norman Richard Evans II, Courtney Mabry Quanell, Kendall Elizabeth Stafford, Bailey Elizabeth Halisti, Brendan C. Lodrig, William McCain Funk, Kaylee Grace Heslin, Hannah D. Holland, Luke Harrison Corder, Matthew Thomas Gremke, Casey Lee Watts-Lang, Michael Patrick Davis, David A. Culp, Zachary Rashad Daniels, Bonnie Jo Sheridan, Carisha Davis, Thurman Dante Miles, Royal Kaser Parson, Sondre C. Brown II, Samantha Nicole Zanecki, Anna Hope Trollinger, Kylan E. Herring, Jenna Lynn Freudenberg, Hannah Joanne Miller, Anna Grace L. Steinbach, Caitlin Janaea Shackelford, Chloe Elise McNeil, Emily K. Dock, Ikea Chantel Muse, Kyra D. Robinson, Joel Daniel Haysher, Mary Ray Kellogg, Reagan Ann Claiborne, Rachel Elizabeth Whistler, Madison Brooke Lee, Yesser Yusuf, Joshua K. Brown, Luis Eduardo Cruz Sr., Thomas Bailey Garner, John Samuel Jennings, Connor A. Nichols, Lauren Grace Seeley, Tiffany Ray Graves, Sarah Elizabeth Perdue, Xavier Tatum Cobb, Samuel Christian Kelly, Matthew Carl Mays, Marquez Deshoon Hadley, Alexis Nicole Rettick, Matthew Lane Dawson, Preston Colt Anderson, Kiera Enid Camacho, John R. Hofer, Felicia Perkins, Quentin Barry Jones, Amy Ann Terrell, Cody Allen Cunningham, Alexander White, Liliana Castellan, Daniel Stephen Vales, Colin Alexander Jewell, Ciara Trenye Smith, Tierra Latrice Williams, Borja Martin Torre, Guillaume C. Chevalier, Chad Rin Parker, Christopher Brandt Grambergs, Anna Elizabeth Webb, Elise Pauline Summerhill, Raykidra Monique Odom, Christy Yearwood Cubis, Gwendolyn Davis, Kayla Dawn Whitehead, Elton Dorr Nichols, Santonio Eugene Walls II, Christopher Walton Micus, Joshua T. Hamlet, Sarah G. Cully, Miriam Marie Caraker, Raquel Latrice Fuller, Michaela M. Taylor. Charisse Antoinette Marion. Daisha Dominique Dunn. Alexander N. Tate. Zachary Ryan Van Blaricom. Temperance L. Meadows. Marquavius Deontay Weaver. Riley Joseph Patterson. Dalton Allen Garrett. Krishunda Jashay Elizabeth Torrey. Keisha Cardin Reed II. Timberney D. Ward. Ryan Patrick Boatwright. Jasmine Shanae Buford. Gia Nouveau, Student Marshal. Bailey Mitchell. Cynthia Wilson. Christian Javier Vasquez. James Daniel Caprio. Rachel Lynette Mooney.
If you would, please join me in giving our graduates one last round of applause in recognition of their accomplishment. And I'm going to ask that our graduates, if you would please give a round of applause for your family, friends, and all of those supporters. Please rise as we celebrate all of our graduates with a final farewell as we sing our university fight song.